we span a wheel, and my official third favorite team is Rare Atom. So that's official, apparently. Let's get into the draft, though, Dagda. I'm tangenting a little too early here, as we've got Udyr coming through, instantly answered by the Azir, coming through from Rookie, and we're going to see the Rell as well. So just pretty much power picks being locked in for now.
Yeah, still seeing, though, the kind of the scaling option coming through from Rookie. Now, Rookie, at least in summer 2020, was a very potent Azir and would often take the Arcane Comet in the lane and just look to bully his opponents. This split, though, Rookie's kind of had a bit of a fall off. He hasn't had the same sort of impact that we expect from the talent that we know this guy has. So I'll be curious to see now, especially since he has the Azir. He can ban away a couple of those champions that do well into the Azir, or at least kind of go even with the Azir on this next rotation, and set Rookie up for a good spot in this mid lane.
Certainly can find a good matchup for himself. We've got that bot lane duo that was the #1 bot lane duo when we came into this split. The Alistar Samira, incredibly potent. Expect level 1 aggression from that lane. But then over to Shun, goes for this Olaf. We've seen the Olaf Udyr matchup quite a few times now in the LPL. It seems to be one of the go-tos, as Zoe is banned away by IG.
And I think BLG will start to look towards AD carries. I mean, you got the Xayah, the potential something like a Tristan as well, maybe for Puff in that bottom side of the map, but just get rid of them, set up Samira, and have this bottom lane that you can play around as BLG to go towards these early dragons, and make sure that you've got a definitive way of forcing Invictus Gaming to fight you. Because as we said, like BLG, they play well when they have a strong bot lane that allows Meteor to have control of the bottom side for invades and to set up for these early dragons.
Well, the Tristana being banned from Puff, and now over to IG. We'll see what they're going to ban away. You'd think maybe it would be another mid laner. Could go towards the top side. It's going to be the Syndra taken away from Zeka, which, when you think about Zeka last year, the Syndra and the Zoe really were the two signature champions for this guy. So I'm a little curious where he will go next in terms of champion pool. But certainly things like the Orianna still very much within his wheelhouse.
I think as well, like, just because we just saw Angel play it, wasn't Zeka one of the big casting players last year as well? No, he played a lot of the other assassins like the Kalis and these kind of things, but never actually brought out the casting.
Yeah, I mean, this split, it's been Galio and Twisted Fate have been his most played, which not really that standard when you think about the rest of the players in the league. He does have a 100% win rate on Silas, though, with 3 games played, so that's an option for them.
This could be interesting. So Ekko is actually a pseudo counter pick to the Azir. You do struggle a little bit in the lane, just Azir can do a lot of work. But the way that you want to try and play this is actually moving off into a side lane and trying to abuse the fact that Azir just doesn't do as well as you in that 1v1 scenario and when he's exposed into this long side lane. So this is where we'll see Zeka again going back towards these more melee orientated assassins and being facilitated, hopefully, by Meteor, giving him a little bit of a hand.
All right, well, our top lane matchup is a bit different to maybe what I had wanted.
Yeah.
BiuBiu going for a full tank, but we get TheShy's Aatrox. Like, let's be honest, some of the best clips of TheShy ever are him on the Aatrox. This is absolute comfort for him.
And some of the worst, I will say. Like, you know, again, the duality of TheShy, duality of BiuBiu. Some of the best and worst have been seen on this champion. But either way, I like the composition that IG have. It's still giving you kind of the definitive win for Rookie in the mid lane. You've got a strong top lane carry for TheShy. And in that bottom lane as well, Puff has the ability to go very aggressive with this Rell, so not actually opting back in towards that kind of later game scaling that we were talking about that we've seen in their last couple of series. Instead, they'll be looking to hit the ground running and beating BLG around the 20 to 28 minute mark.
We'll see if IG will be able to find that advantage in the mid lane. Certainly top lane should be going their way. Over to the side of BLG though, definitely it's going to be a conversation of trying to stop that bottom lane getting ahead. Whenever there's a Kalista in the game, you have to be afraid of that Kalista. But against Samira Alistar, it might be difficult for Puff to find any kind of lead in the laning phase. Very easy as Kalista to go a little too far forward and get punished heavily for that.
Yeah, and that's the big one here is, like, especially in these early stages, if you end up getting like CC'd, you end up with a couple of this passive marks coming through from Samira, like, it could be really difficult as Puff to return this damage onto the Samira. So certainly when you're looking at like short trades where Puff is able to get 1 or 2 spears into aiming, then get the rend on towards a creep and trade that way, it will definitely go in favor of Puff and Lucas. But if Amy and Dway are able to get these guaranteed engages off on the bottom side of the map, then it'll be much more in favor of this Samira and the Alistar.
Well, we're going to head on to Summoner's Rift, Dagda, and we're going to find out for ourselves how that bot lane matchup is going to go. I'm certainly hoping BLG can show up here today, because as I mentioned, the standings so far, BLG are negative right now. They are 4 and 5. They are on a 2-loss streak. You can see there's a little bit of social distancing going on in the crowd as well. It feels like in American cinemas, you can buy like these super wide XL seats, which I think are basically designed for couples. I'm not really sure, but they're just huge. And like, it kind of looks like those cinemas to me, where you go in and you basically have almost a sofa to yourself if you buy one of these seats. That's what the audience looks like right now. But anyway, enough of my weird tangents. You can see that Meteor knows what's up in this jungle, because he's gone for the only correct Udyr skin. The Tiger onesie is out. This guy's feeling good.
Well, I mean, he's got a pretty decent matchup, right? I mean, we've seen how effective Udyr can be in playing into the Olaf, at least when it comes towards those early clears, getting these early scuttle crab. And with both junglers starting on that top side, a lot of this early game is going to be decided by Rookie in this mid lane, but also on this bot lane as well. And as we talked about, you know, Puff and Lucas at least having that level 1 advantage should be able to push in, unless Dway can get the flash headbutt to secure that bot lane cryo.
That'll be the big question, is can they find that level 1 engage for themselves and start the snowball in the bottom side? Because that little XP advantage that you can get for yourself, or you know, timing advantage, I suppose, is a better way to describe it, can really set the pace of the game. Doesn't look like it's happening this time, as already the level 2 about to be hit by the side of IG. So you can see the respect coming out from BLG, and rightly so. They can't 2v2 while a level down, so they just have to back away from that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we kind of just pointed out that was going to be the fact. I'm curious to see how this mid lane matchup is going to go, though, because this is a pretty brave call from Zeka. Basically, the way you need to play this matchup as the Ekko is trying to make sure that you're able to catch this Azir every time he extends into the tether range of your E. You're trying to dash forward, jump onto him, get this big trade, and then use the speed up that you get to walk away. However, like, Rookie has been insanely good in the laning phase. You can see here, like, the second that Q's out, Rookie's walking up, he wants to trade because you can't combo as Zeka. And if you are consistently using your Q here, Zeka, onto the wave, you're going to fall further and further behind. And especially as this wave starts to crash under the tower, Rookie is going to have a heap of pressure on towards the center.
Yeah, he's maybe looking to dive here, forces the flash out. This is why I love to watch Rookie, because he will punish you so damn hard in every single laning phase. And you know, Rookie has actually been having kind of a rough split. Like, when you think about Rookie, it's always about how he just wins every matchup, no matter what. This split has been a little bit different. He's had some hard times, but he's starting this lane off well.
The quicker recall from Zeka, though, will net the double scuttle for Shun. Bot side, though.
There we go, the 2v2 aiming forced away. The ignite is on, but he's survived at very least. Lucas takes half of his health, but very positive trade for IG. No summoners used by BLG, though, so ultimately, they do get away with it.
Just about getting away with it, although Amy will need to back, so we'll lose this bot lane CS. And also in this top side of the map, actually with the TP coming back in from Rookie, Meteor wasn't able to take that scuttle in time, so will go the way of Shun. So both junglers going relatively even when it comes towards scuttles, but certainly Udyr with that quicker clear and not having to reset yet is going to start powering ahead when it comes towards the CS.
Yeah, I mean, Meteor is already almost finished his second clear, while Shun is only just getting back onto the map towards his crux. So pretty significant advantage in the CS numbers right now for Meteor, but we'll see if he can transition that into anything. He's finally going to go for that first reset as BiuBiu takes a fairly favorable trade up in the top side.
Yeah, we'll go all right for him here. Though, maybe not anymore as TheShy's still looking, but won't be able to finish that off. I'm looking at this back towards this mid lane though, because I'm seeing Zeka once again recall. He's gone pretty much towards all the starting items you possibly can as a mid laner, with the Dorans, the Dark Seal, the Corrupting Pot, and yes, it will give him a little bit of an advantage in this lane, but Ekko really spikes when he's able to get towards that rocket belt. And the more of these early game items that you're buying as Zeka, the later that spike comes through, the less of an impact you can have. And unfortunately, without Meteor kind of having a bit of help towards Zeka in this mid lane, and Zeka losing out so heavily on those early trades, this Ekko pick isn't quite working out in the manner that they would hope for.
But one of the things, obviously, with the Ekko pick as well is going to be looking towards the later stages of the game as Jway. Oh, he needed to hit Q, but he didn't. He just pressed W and then he fumbled it. And so Puff walks away, doesn't even have to use a summoner. Meteor going to start this Drake off as Shun moves to the bottom side of the map. Does have a blast going to get in. But I think they are going to concede this one, although Shun's still moving in here. At least he will have vision of the situation. Shun, you're very alone right now, my friend. I don't know if you really want to try and go for this contest. We'll back away in the end. And Rookie just continues in this mid lane. Zeka, that's the kind of trade you were talking about, Dagda. That's what he's got to go for.
Yeah, that's where... Ooh, actually, Meteor onto Shun.
Flash from Meteor here. Forces the flash from Shun as well. It's just going to be flash for flash. Jungler for jungler. And we back away from the trade.
You can see those trades in the mid lane where Zeka's actually able to punish Rookie for not tethering correctly. That's when you can go for these very aggressive trades, and especially having 6 available now. But bot side.
Got a bit of damage on Stray. Once again, these trades going in favor of IG time and time again. But ultimately, they're not really getting summoners out from BLG. Now Shun gets to move in, though, and threaten a dive. This could be the opportunity for IG to accelerate this lead.
Meteor's here, though. He's just waiting on that blast cone in case IG tried to overextend, but looks like they won't be able to. And Aiming and Jway will be able to pick up all the CS on the bottom side. And I gotta give a shout out to Meteor though, so far this game. Like, his ability to track Shun has been really, really good, but also finding that opportunity to pick up the dragon, because you've got a losing bot lane right now. You had the mid lane that shouldn't really have that timing to give you the advantage over towards that dragon, but Meteor found a really nice window of opportunity to pick up that objective for themselves, is stopping Shun from really having an impact. And as this game starts to go forward, if you're buying these little moments of time, as you said, getting Zeka in towards these side lanes, allowing BiuBiu time to scale and have be a bit more of a front line. Like, this is what BLG want right now.
Yeah, they're quite happy to play this one nice and slow. But the same can be said for IG. The one big thing for IG is that you've got this Kalista, right? Which, I mean, when you think about Kalista, you do not think about what she offers in the late game. You're thinking about her strength when it comes to fighting for things like the dragon. Those mid-game fights are really where Kalista comes into her own. So, got to be looking towards IG for really setting the pace in the mid game.
Well, we can already see that from Lucas, right? I think Lucas has been one of the better supports, I think, when it comes towards these early map movements. Already you can see him getting out of lane, making sure he's facilitating IG potentially looking towards this Rift Herald. Now, has gone back towards this bot side, but he'll still be here to support Rookie and make sure they actually can contest on towards this top objective. Because if I'm BLG, right, and I'm looking towards, hey, I got a bunch of split pushers, or at least I've got one split pusher, let's say, in Zeka, not a bunch. But at least this guy who wants to try and play off in the side lane, if I can start to crack open this mid lane turret, maybe start to move in towards these side lanes as well, I give a lane for Zeka to shove in and actually start to move and use the advantages that this Ekko has over these.
We're going to see pushed back under the tower. Zeka can just zip out, though. That's one of the nice things about this Ekko, but he's taking a huge amount of damage. Rookie has flash, but obviously flash on Azir, not usually an aggressive spell. In we go with the Ragnarok. Jway knocked up, does have the Unbreakable Will, but the render stacking up. Can he get the E through? It's not enough damage. Aiming, trading back now, stacking up that passage for himself. That passive, sorry, as Shun just throws an axe. And it will be dissuaded in the end. Heal burn as well. Is the flash and ignite from Jway. But IG aren't done just yet. The whole gang is here as Rookie roamed down as well. And they won't quite be able to finish off that plate. But just in case the BLG bot lane didn't respect it, they threatened the dive.
But with everyone, like Rookie included, moving down towards this bottom side, Zeka's able to get back into lane. He's not losing out on as much as he could, and you're not getting plates for Rookie in this matchup where, honestly, this Azir should be able to punish, especially when you get such a favorable trade. So, overall, again, IG not kind of getting the big advantages that we want. Playing very heavily towards Puff in this game, but the Kalista is kind of doing fine on her own and doesn't really need more invested into her. I prefer to see Shun trying to see if he can play towards Rookie. Play towards this Rift Herald that's been sitting on the top side of the map for the last 2 minutes.
I would love to see them play towards Rookie. I always love to see IG play towards Rookie because, I mean, it's Rookie, right? I think Rookie is one of those players that everyone just loves to watch because there's always something magical when you're watching Rookie play. He's one of those players that just feels like any situation he can pull it out. And the crazy thing is, he's not really been performing so far this split. He's had a really rough split for himself, but it doesn't seem to matter. I think the fact that we've seen it before so many times just gives him the benefit of the doubt no matter what.
Yeah, I like there's as you said, a thing of beauty when you get to see like how Rookie performs on an Orianna or an Azir, but Jue, no, just barely making it out of that.
Jue still surviving for now, but I think his ult is just been popped now, so it will be tanky. Lucas gets the shield at the last possible second, tries to get away with it, but in comes aiming to try and finish off some kills. Lucas walks away. Shun will be the first casualty of the fight instead, as BiuBiu gonna lock TheShy in place. Spin round goes the Beyblade, and onto the Herald. BLG go.
And this is exactly what I want to see from BLG. We said already how crucial this Rift Herald could be for cracking open these side lanes, or even this mid lane turn, and giving that side lane pressure towards Zeka. Well, getting the fight on top of that just is even better.
Hey, Rookie taking a good trade from Zeka once again. Zeka has Chrono Break right now, so there is very real kill threat if Rookie's not careful in that matchup, but Meteor grabs himself that Herald. They will reset as aiming crashes in the top side here. And this is a good little gold swing in favor of BLG. 500 gold now in their favor if they can get a couple of these plates. With a Herald up here from Meteor as well. Looks like they're really trying to accelerate.
Yeah, and the good news for BLG fans as well is that while you're making that play towards the Rift Herald top, Puff had actually started to wander up towards the Rift Herald fight, so wasn't able to get the plates that he would have launched before BiuBiu could TP in. Now, though, TP answered on the top side.
Yeah, Rookie's moving up. Jue still very low, doesn't have ulti, and he will be taken down by TheShy. The Herald comes in, and it does finish off the tower. I wasn't sure if that would be enough. Traded for a Drake on the bottom side of the map. And Puff is stuck here against their Sion. There's nothing he can really do to punish a Sion at this point in the game. Sion could just clear the wave. So this is really nice from BLG, playing the map much better than IG.
Yeah, this is like what I kind of expected from BLG. They've been pretty good, especially with Jue coming into the roster at like finding these cross-map plays. And you see here, Jue, he baits this play for so damn long, holding on to that ultimate, not popping it early, and then aiming coming over the wall. Aiming has been like the consistently strong carry for this team. Now, fortunately not able to pick up that kill on towards Lucas, but you can see there they're trying to make these plays happen, and it does net them that Rift Herald.
I mean, the thing is, IG are taking a 4v5 there. That's ultimately the conclusion of that. Puff is on the bottom side of the map. I don't know what you expected, IG. Like, those fights don't usually go well when your only early game carry is on the wrong side of the map. So maybe just not quite respectful enough from IG there. Gold lead still only 600 though for BLG. Despite the fact that they got that first tower, I'm surprised it's not more of a gold lead, to be honest.
Well, I mean, when we look towards the CS numbers, it kind of makes a little bit more sense, right? You've got a 30 CS lead in top, you got a 20 and 20 in a bot lane and mid lane as well. So it's just the priority or the strength of IG's lanes has been working really well for them. And I think this has kind of been the biggest worry I've had with Shun coming into the roster is that, like, in situations where you've got like pushing top, pushing mid, pushing bot, he hasn't been able to secure a lot of these early objectives.
Time for a dive on the bottom side. Puff flashes, but he's still stunned by the bear slap. Will get out with his life for now. Just about surviving as the stun comes in from Ekko. Everybody knocked back, though. It's beautiful from Rookie, and IG answering across the map. Lucas finally goes down, but it's a 2-for-1. IG come out ahead. Undertow about to be thrown. Doesn't get the slow. It means they should get away, but TheShy wants himself a kill in the top side as well. Q was on cooldown, so BiuBiu walks away.
And BiuBiu should be able to pick up this damage underneath the turrets. Has flash, as does TheShy.
TheShy gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. Walks away with his life for now. And we'll just go for the reset.
Yeah, so we see, anyway, BLG way overextending in this bottom side of the map. Like, I genuinely think that the focus here for BLG shouldn't be on, like, kills. It should be just getting these turrets down. Like, buying space on the map. If you get both of these turrets down, like, think about it. You're going to BiuBiu pushing that top wave. You have this pushing from Ekko on the bot side, and you can just fully collapse on towards mid, but over-committing for Puff and Lucas here. At this point, I think you just turn back. You're not going to get too much more. And with Rookie and Shun being on the bot side of the map, it's a great play from Rookie to turn this play around. Stop the bleed that had been happening from IG on the bottom side here. And it means that, again, more kills, more gold going towards Puff, towards Rookie as well, and accelerating these two characters.
It is pretty beautiful to see that IG are able to answer. The fact that Puff survived so long was so crucial in that one. And I want to quickly talk about Puff, since he was the guy that managed to survive in that play, and Rookie managed to turn it around in the end. But Puff, so far, since like rejoining IG, essentially, obviously he never left the team, but since being the main guy on the roster once again, he's had two very drastically different performances, right? Because on the series we saw against EDG, Puff was like, oh my god, this guy's the best AD carry in the league. Who is this new version of Puff? And then against Suning, we had an absentee captain. It felt like Puff was barely playing at all. So right now, this series to me is going to be kind of a telltale for who Puff is and what he represents this season.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has at least been set up to a certain extent, actually, mid lane. Rookie just about able to get away from that, but certainly he's been doing relatively well. It's these team fights that were going to be kind of hard for him to operate in, especially when you got like the Alistar and Udyr that's gunning for you, even BiuBiu having the ability to buy a lot of space for his team in these scraps. So Puff will definitely have his work cut out in trying to take down the likes of these super tanks on BLG's side.
Drake's coming up in 20 seconds, Dagda, and you can tell because the teams are posturing for a fight. In goes Lucas with the Magnet Storm, pulls everyone in. Rookie's there with the damage as well. Look at this, shredding through BLG. Zeka forced to flash over the wall. Lucas just about surviving with his own life as well. Aiming is alone, though. Knocked away from the team and taken down by Puff. In the end, IG find themselves an advantageous fight, and they'll get themselves a second Drake.
And it's a mess for BLG. The way BLG want to try and play these fights is having BiuBiu in the front line, but the entire time that fight is going on, TheShy is chasing BiuBiu down that top side. So BiuBiu's not able to TP in, IG are able to separate BLG, and they're finding the fights and dragons for themselves as well. Great job from IG to punish the fact that the 4-man unit of BLG is nothing without that front line.
Oh, TheShy is obviously diving a tier 2, as you'd expect, at 18 minutes into the game. He will walk away in the end. Puff finishes off the tier 1 in the bottom side. It's only the mid lane tier 1 remaining now on the side of BLG. Let's take another look at the action, though, because this was all Lucas setting it up beautifully.
And there's just no position here for Samira. Like, you're already that 3-man unit stunned up, and Samira's only now joining in the fight where everyone's sub 20 HP. So a great opportunity from IG to spot that out, and unfortunately it's actually Amy who ends up paying the price of the mistake of the rest of BLG. Now IG, though, are objectives all the way. Dragon secured on the bottom side, Rift Herald taking on this top side, and Zeka, he's trying to operate in these side lanes, but they don't belong to him.
Yeah, that ain't your side lane anymore, Mr. Zeka. Will Chrono break back away from IG? And actually could maybe get away with this one, because IG would much rather commit to the tier 2. They've got a Herald to work with as well. Shun going to be there, just hammering away. And Zeka, he's just fleeing across the map, buying as much time as possible, because BLG are pushing a tier 1 in the mid lane. Now Zeka trying to link up with his team, but the rest of IG are here hunting. Zeka, you don't get away with those kind of shenanigans against IG. Puff trying to get some damage down, but Zeka jumps to the mid wave and gets over to his team. I can't believe no one was able to head him off.
The inhibitor turret is under pressure, though, from Shun, so as long as they keep them busy, IG are winning anyway. So Shun is actually going to take this inhibitor turret in topside.
BiuBiu had TP this entire time. BiuBiu, my friend, this is not worth an inhib tower. The tier 1 is not an equal trade. He's going to TP into the mid lane instead, and he's going to charge straight over towards Puff, who's forced to flash away. BiuBiu can't close the gap, and that means the engage from BLG is snuffed.
And it's IG playing this map so much better than BLG right now. They're consistently having TheShy, pushing these side lanes, creating pressure against BiuBiu, and then finding either picks, like we saw just before the Dragon, or they're using these Rift Heralds where BLG have overcommitted towards that mid-tier 1. So right now IG have got a nice gold lead for themselves, but the pressure that they've created for that top side of the map, especially when you're looking towards further Dragons coming up, is going to pay dividends for IG.
So I want to quickly reset the conversation a little bit here, because IG started to run away with things a bit, and we've got a Drake coming up in 2 minutes. So I'm going to ask you to talk about that in a second. But I just want to point something out, Dagda, that when we think about Rookie right now, he's actually had a not great split, right? That's a fairly fair statement to make. But when you look at him statistically, he's still one of the best mid laners in the league. Like, every single game, he's still ahead in CS at 15 minutes 81% of the time. Like, he has a 7.5 CS advantage on average. He has a 256 gold advantage on average at 15 minutes. And even in XP, he's ahead at 15 minutes on average. Like, this guy's bad split is still better than 80% of mid laners in the LPL. Rookie is actually just unbelievable.
Well, it's because we consider Rookie one of the greatest of all times, right? It's not like he's just a regular Joe So we're talking about. It's the guy that we expect to be the best mid laner in the LPL, and when he's not performing to that level, question marks do start to go up. However, he's definitely found himself a nice time in this game, maybe not this fight,
he's
though.
found himself 2v1, will dash away. Empress Divide comes out to keep him safe. Meteor trying to get to the rest of the team. TheShy buying a ton of space with this Aatrox. Everyone's jumping onto him, but that's his comfort zone. Sterix comes in, and he's completely indestructible. And now the knockups onto the enemy team. Look at aiming, spinning around, trying to get the damage out, but he's taken out by Puff, who jumps through the backline. Kalista going crazy, stacking up that rend and stacking up the damage. Shy goes into the fight, but Puff's taken down. Zeka trying to answer, but cut down by Rookie. And BLG lose 4.
And just like that, IG find their team fight. Doesn't matter if there's an objective, they're going to take the fight anyway as TheShy chases down on towards Meteor. Meteor can't get out. Okay,
yeah, he can. He's Udyr. He runs. He's
I wasn't sure if he'd be
done.
knocked back into more, but either way, IG, they find the fight. They're now taking this mid turret. They've already got that top lane inhibitor turret down. Like, this is such a big lead for IG in this series. And now we've got Dragon just going to be coming up in 20 seconds. Maybe BLG can get onto the map and take it before IG get in position. But when BLG, in this replay, were the ones taking this fight, Rookie's able to bounce back. And from that point forward, look how separated they are. Again, like, Zeka not really in this fight. And with the amount of damage TheShy churns out and the healing from that core drinker, he's just unkillable without the damage profile coming through from both Zeka and also this Samira.
Oh, we've got Drake coming up. In fact, it's up on the bottom left of your screen. You can see IG positioning already. They are 4,000 gold ahead at this point as Lucas spots Dway on that ward. TheShy is just going to start a fight, as TheShy often does. Shun steps up as well. They're just going to bully BLG away from the pit. Because guess what? They've got a Kalista. They don't even need Smite. They can just rend the Drake. So Shun can play to zone out BLG. But IG still tentative to actually start the Drake off.
The thing is, you need both Zeka and Aiming in position to try and kill TheShy. If it's only one of them, like, the damage from the rest of the team is just negligible and TheShy will heal through it. So certainly BLG need to find a way to CC, lock down TheShy and burst him out.
TheShy moves in onto BiuBiu, pulls him back, gets a couple more hits in. And the lifesteal just means he can take these hits and keep on healing up. You can see Zeka trying to find a flank on the backline. In they go, the double engage, but Rookie pushes them back in. Aiming, spinning around, but taken down in the end. Dway falls, and it's a double coming through for Puff. BiuBiu's in zombie mode and taken down. Drake will go the way of IG. It was a great attempt from BLG, but Rookie with full denial.
And it was just BLG trying to get the big engage. TP now on the top side from Rookie. This is just for Baron, though. They're not really looking to actually kill Zeka. All they're trying to do is force him back, as IG are looking to take a pretty handy game one with some amazing team fighting from this squad.
Yeah, some amazing team fighting, and also great map play in the early stages of this game. And you know, we came into this one looking at the standings saying, hey, in terms of the standings, these two teams are very even in terms of win rate, etc, etc. But IG is IG, and even though they just lost to Suning, you kind of expect it to be a heavy favorite coming into this one. They're proving it in these fights.
Yeah, and here, I actually think Zeka should have just jumped on towards the ball. I think if Ekko had tried to burst out this Kalista rather than going for the big stun, maybe this fight could have gone slightly differently. But again, rookie hero plays on this Azir. That Emperor's Divide shut down any sort of fight that BLG were hoping to take. And you're just bopping him straight back into TheShy, he's 3 items strong right now. I know he picked up some more through that, but this Aatrox is massive in this top lane. And if you're just going to sit in front of him all day and not actually burst him down, he's going to be happy to heal through everything and just kill you as he goes.
Zeka's found Shun and did about a third of his health with an entire combo. That's not a good look. When Zeka's the strongest player in your team by a country mile, not being able to really hurt the enemy isn't great. And now Zeka's the one that's been found out because TheShy pops World Ender. It's just 1v4 here for TheShy while the rest of the team collapses onto BiuBiu. How long can TheShy survive? The answer is quite a long time because Sterix has come in and he's still going. The knockups are there and they find the kill onto the enemy AD carry. Actually, Amy surviving a second there, but finally goes down. Dre will fall as well. Meteor next for the chopping block. And well, BLG, my friends, you have just been baited and outsmarted.
There's just not enough damage on BLG to kill TheShy. Like, Zeka's trying, he's gonna pop out of the fight, and then Amy's like, alright, tag me in, bro, I'm going. It's like, I don't want this fight anymore. It's like, what do you do against TheShy? So, unfortunately for them, IG are now in their base and looking for the end.
Yeah, it's not gonna work out for BLG on this one as Zeka dashes back out to safety with the chrono break. The Nexus towers are falling. TheShy seemingly always in World Ender. As the towers fall, Dre flashes out to safety, but taken down anyway. Zeka trying to flee for his life. Same for aiming as he gets towards the fountain. Rookie's ult went a little wonky on that one. Didn't seem to push anyone, but it doesn't matter. They still get the kills. Nobody dies here. IG with a confident 27.5-minute win over BLG.
Well, IG are back. I mean, after the last series against Suning, I was kind of like, oh, you know, IG things, sometimes they look good, sometimes they look great, sometimes they look neither of those. This time around, though, IG looking absolutely amazing. This was, as we talked about, like, really smart map play from the early points in the game and trying to make sure that they could keep this Udyr in check, making sure that they were able to get these advantages on the bottom side of the map. And from that point forward, just bullying through how strong each of their laners were in typical IG fashion.
And it feels like, you know, we've just seen IG have a dominant game 1 in this series. I'm thinking about game 2, and I'm just like, you just know IG are going to lose game 2. You can just feel it deep down in your soul that they're going to make a coin flip play at level 3. It's all going to go wrong. BLG gets a huge lead, and we go to 3 games. I can just feel it deep down somewhere. But let's take this win while we've got it, and let's celebrate how great IG looked in this game. Playing the map beautifully, like exposing BLG, honestly. Especially the play where you saw Shun just pushing with the Herald, while BLG are off doing what around the map? They took a tier 1 top and a tier 1 mid and a tier 1 bot, sorry, while they lose 3 towers on the top side. That's not a good trade, BLG.
Yeah, it just felt like BLG kind of understood how they wanted to operate, like, especially as we talked about with this Ekko. It's about getting towers down, making sure that he's got a long lane that he can work through. He can bully out the likes of this Azir, and you can try and operate in this 1-4 fashion. However, the TheShy just got so massive on the top lane that Zeka was negligible in the side lane. He had no hope of dealing with that Aatrox. And you've already committed, like, as you're talking about, like, your bottom inhibitor, or your top, inhibitor tower to trying to get these outer structures down to give Zeka that full lane. And it just meant that overall, the gold that had gone in favor of IG was just too large when we came to team fights. You don't really have a side lane that you can work through either. And the whole game plan fell apart from BLG.
beautifully played by the squad from IG. I think TheShy kind of stealing the limelight in a lot of those fights, because when you look at the damage, Rookie was doing most of the work for the team, but TheShy was right in the thick of everything, constantly taking all of the threat from BLG, so he kind of robbed the limelight away from Rookie a little bit.
See, the thing is, you take the damage that TheShy did, you multiply that by 3, and then that's the healing that was done in these fights. So that's the difference maker there. It's just how much survivability this Aatrox had. And you can see the early Spirit Visage doing work there as well, where you just don't go down. And especially when Aiming was massively far behind, and Zeka is trying to assassinate this Aatrox, you just don't have the damage to get through him fast enough before he heals it all up.
It just feels impossible in a lot of these situations when you're playing against an Aatrox that's ahead and also an Olaf